NSC Fan TV, here we are. Drew, Scott, we're processing.
It took me a bit, I had to marinate on the loss. I mean, it's the first loss at home at Geodis Park.
First loss at home, that a 2-1 loss to Sporting Kansas City. And so I think that there were really three things that we wanted to talk about. And so you wanted to start with the formation.
I wanted to start with formation and how we transitioned from starting out with, I think, a 3-5-2, ended up with a 2-4-4.
4 in the front?
When Gary Smith realized he was losing that game.
Gotta get out of jail, man.
And then we had two more things.
Yes. So let's just start with that, and then we'll jump to the two extra things.
Okay.
So
I this is gonna be, this first point is, I think, at least as far as I'm concerned, maybe I think the biggest point of the match is how the formation changed.
Okay.
As Gary Smith felt like he was losing hold
45.
on
It
the
was
game.
45 minutes of 5 in the midfield.
It was 45 minutes of 5 in the midfield with 3 central defensive midfielders.
Right.
You had Godoy
Played
out,
3 sixes.
you had Anunga out, and you had Davis out. With Davis playing in somewhat of a 10 spot.
Yeah, like
because
just under where the 10 would be, or he should have been there. He should have been the 10 spot because the whole area of the field was open.
It was really weird because they're really all like sixes. I mean, to me at least, Godoy feels a little bit less like a 6 than the other two. Yeah. But in my opinion, at least, watching us play, those are six
all sixes,
rolls, and
then another 6. Yeah, another 6 came in.
Another 6 came in. I was gonna say, it was really weird. I mean, even I think it was Marshall who said it, that even he wouldn't play 3 CDMs even if it was Patrick Vieira.
Well done, Marshall.
But I thought, maybe I would if they were Patrick Vieira.
If it was Patrick Vieira, I'd take it.
I mean,
So I think that the other part of it was just the fact that area wasn't opened, and they were playing. Kansas City was playing 4 with a shield midfielder over the top of them.
They're 54, right?
Yeah, and he has 54. Yeah. It's a big number, and a big number, hefty dude. And so they effectively had committed 5 in the back, and so playing a 2 on them without any really forward front was just hopeless against them. And it showed because there were just almost no chances created in that first half.
That's right, and I think we've mentioned several times, without our starting 11, you didn't have Zimmerman up there trying to bang headers in on spot kicks or on corner kicks.
Yeah, the only chance came off that corner kick with the Rami putback.
Yeah, the only real solid. This was on frame and everything. I think was it Mario who mentioned we had no shots on goal. I mean, as a bootlegger, that's a damn shame. No shot
in front of the bootleggers. They recognize that.
No shots on goal in the first. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's what happens when you have 2 committed attacking players against effectively 5 in the back.
Yeah. And I think that it was a missed opportunity because in some ways, both with San Jose and with Sporting Kansas City, we had teams that in some ways are struggling, and that they're on the road, and we need to be able to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that especially with this setup, we had a chance to start Loba and Sapong in the front and play Mukhtar under them, because even then, I think that Hani's best role is playing under the forwards.
I think that's correct.
So, I mean, he's even mentioned the fact that that's his natural position. And so that just looked like a missed opportunity to play to have Loba start and play a full 90 or play more.
That's right. And I think that's right, especially considering that we knew we had Leal in the back seat ready to come on. He wasn't fit for a full 90, but we knew he was ready to come on, and I think that.
Yeah, and he looked great whenever he came on, and so we got the time from him that we wanted. So I just feel like it was a missed opportunity. Just overall, just the game was a missed opportunity, and the same thing with the San Jose game.
With Loba, I think you're right about that. Loba not starting against 2 teams that are at the bottom of the Western Conference. I mean, it's a weird situation why you wouldn't do that and start that, especially when you don't have your full starting 11 because of international break.
And the last part of this is just the fact that if we actually had a second forward, I think that Hani could play in the position that he is naturally.
He could have just came back. Yeah, I think so. So I want to go over.
Okay, so that was now. That's all the lead
the
first half of the first half of the first point, the second half of the first point.
So it was a 3-5-2, and I think that's maybe how it was lined up on TV. Yeah. I used the goal app, which lines it up as a 4-4-2, but I think that's incorrect.
I think that was incorrect.
It became that, however, when Loba came on for Nunga.
Right. At the half.
I think
yes.
it transitioned away from the 3-5-2. And then you had Godoy come up for McCarty, so that's like, you could call that something like a direct swap, not a tactical sub.
Yeah.
Then you had, at the same time, Washington come on for Romney. Now that's interesting. Taking a defender off, pushing players forward, that was after the Zusi goal at 51 minutes.
That's right, yeah.
51st
Definitely
minute.
chasing the game there.
And so at that point, you've yet to score. You are chasing it. It's right after Loba scores.
Yeah.
Which we've got to mention, and that's going to come up soon.
Yeah, that's point number 2.
That's point number 2. And then you had Leal come on for Miller, another defender subbed off. And at that point, I felt like it was a 2-4-4. You
two
had
in the back. Yeah.
You had 2 in the back, but then everyone else, you had Miller come off, you had Romney come off. At that point, we were absolutely chasing the game. We felt like we couldn't lose. We couldn't put those 3 points and just leave them behind.
Just chasing the 1 point. Chasing the 1 point at this stage. Chasing the 1
We
point
wanted
at this
at least
stage.
1. I mean, that, I don't know about you guys at home, but to me, the end of that game for the last
Felt like I'd been
hour,
holding my breath for 20 minutes.
yeah, but it felt like a 2-4-4 where we were just trying to press, and that's all that we had left in us.
And in some ways, that kind of urgency. So this has been a regular complaint about Smith Bowl.
Okay.
Gary Ball doesn't. There's so little urgency until we get popped in the mouth.
And it's building out from the back.
And then and I'm okay with building. I'm okay with building up for the back. Yeah. I'm okay with that patient play. It's just the fact that it gets up front and we're like, yeah, back it out, or we're gonna take it away from us. That's okay. We play good defense, but we don't play good defense.
We gotta play the good defense. Well, that's the question. I mean, with things being shaken up, with the right back conundrum, the maybe loss of the connection in the midfield, maybe due to leadership issues. I don't know what.
Maybe some continuity there.
Communication errors.
Dax completely changed the game when he came on.
I think that's right.
I mean, maybe it was something about just the urgency with which the game was being played, and so Dax sort of shone a little bit more. But Dax changed the game when he came on.
His soccer IQ, just knowing where players are and knowing where to put the ball. I mean, that's
one touching 20-yard passes.
That which is beautiful, by the way.
Amazing.
I mean, from a 6, that is what you need.
That's what we wanted to see. Yeah. And so, question about why he doesn't start, but maybe there are other issues. But maybe this is just a case for sort of bringing up and sort of creating some more midfield opportunities. So just like what we were talking about, an opportunity in the front, maybe there was an opportunity in the midfield for some development. But why McCarty isn't playing every minute that he can is a mystery to me, because he changes the game. He changes our game.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Oh, Captain,
and
my Captain.
I liked seeing Godoy with the armband on. I think I have to change. I can rescind
Godoy
my
had a solid
opinion
game.
on Godoy. I've done it before, I think, but I think that Godoy had a great game. Although I think
he had a solid game.
I have to admit, though, I think the leadership was a bit lacking with the armband. I didn't see as much advocacy for our team.
I think that was
especially
the problem.
Mukhtar getting
the only time he talked
and elbowed.
Yeah, it's exactly no protection from Mukhtar, and Godoy wasn't. I think that the only time Godoy had a conversation with the ref was whenever he got the yellow.
I was gonna say, and that was, by the way, a harsh call on him. So
I think so. I think that's correct.
But anyway, that's my piece said. We transitioned from a 3-5-2 into a 2-4-4 reverse Gary Smith ball.
Well, so, and notice, by the way, that actually having all of those guys forward was what made things change, because playing with a 2, if we didn't have a third forward in there, we would not have had that put back for the goal.
I think that's
and so having someone crashing behind the play, or having at the very least 3 people who know it's their job to be part of production in the front, that's actually, that would have not happened if we were playing two in the front, and then we had sort of some midfielders who were coming up and helping, or some wingers. That would not have happened if we didn't have 3 forwards.
That is absolutely correct, and I think at this point, especially with Loba showing out, maybe gaining confidence from having scored that goal from open play, we may have a case to be made for more forwards dedicated to just going forward.
Yeah. So, and again, the question here is, why wasn't Zuback out there? Why didn't we see Hackinson? Why didn't we see someone who's a more dedicated forward player instead of 3? Again, we're just back to the 3-6s, but I can't let it go. I can't let it go.
I get it though, because Russell is crazy. Russell is insane. Shalawi is insane.
Shalawi is right. Russell and Shalawi are 2 fine players.
And Moyle locked Shalawi's ass down.
He did.
I gotta say,
shout out
to
Moyle on Shalawi.
That was impressive.
That's right. Yeah.
But so that is tough. But I don't think you need 3 CDMs to cover that. I think that with the defense, trusting in the sixes that we do have, would
Yeah.
have probably been a smarter option.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that having someone forward would have been better. Okay, so that was point one. We had point two with regards to Loba. Point three,
Okay.
which is
I'm waiting for you.
waiting for me.
Are we gonna?
I want to talk about Willis's playing the goal.
Oh, Willis is playing. Oh, that's right.
I want to talk about Willis's playing the goal, and
That's right.
So the 2 goals went in. I think that the Zusi goal is not on Willis at all. That's on the defense. That's on really just lackadaisical defending. Letting Graham Zusi set up on the edge of the box like that.
He's been doing that
unforgivable.
He does
unforgivable defending.
Yeah, he does that at the level of
It was like watching Steph Curry, hey, you're not gonna bother running. Like Steph Curry is like kind of winding up and like eyeballing. It was like, what are you?
It's like are you gonna
try to get out there and you're gonna put your hand up maybe?
Yeah.
Watching Graham Zusi do that was again like you were sitting next to me and I was yelling, "Someone get on 8!"
Yeah, you can't let him do that. He's been doing that. That's not new.
Okay.
Like that's not new.
So we can't blame Joe for that goal. That's really on either Romney or Washington. Whoever should have been coming out to him. Somebody needed to get to him, and so that was either on the backs or on some communication in the back. So it might. So there could have been one of these things where it's like Mayer needed to take charge of the situation, and say, "Get him, go get 8."
Make sure everybody's marked. I mean, that's what it comes.
So there might have been a leadership issue. There might have been an assignment issue, but or just some communication. Just somebody needed to get on him, and nobody did. Okay, so I think that the Zusi goal is not on Willis at all. The question here is that free kick goal.
Hernandez, right?
Yeah, struck it, and did he not see? Like again, did it take a skip? Did he not see it? It's unclear whether or not it got redirected to me, I have not seen any good replays to be able to tell me one way or the other.
I was gonna say I get from the trajectory of the ball, which can be misleading when you're looking from that kind of angle that they showed the play from, which is kind of from the right side of the goal.
Yep,
it looked like it wasn't redirected. It looked like it was just on target, and it's one of those kind of balls that you don't expect not to have a head on it because it was really dippy.
Yeah,
and it was right into about the center for a while.
But so even if it's moving, why is he so flat-footed? I mean, so again, the part of this is me just being flummoxed as to like, did he not see it? If he couldn't see it, was it because of the fact that he was standing behind the wall? Like, why in the world are you flat-footed on a ball that, unless it again deflected? How in the world could you be flat-footed on that?
I know. Okay, look, I'm gonna make the case for Willis. I know maybe no one else.
Panico has also been caught flat-footed. So on a goal, he gave up one almost exactly. The ball was different. The ball came off the near side of the wall and into the goal, and he didn't see it at all. But he was another one who's just like, at least in terms of if the camera was on the goalkeeper, it looked exactly the same. It looked like this. Oh, and then he's pulling the ball out of the goal. Yeah. That's what it looked like.
It's like, oh shit, they got me. I mean,
got me.
Here's what I think happened. I think that he just expected a head to go on the Hernandez ball in.
Okay.
And it just didn't. And I don't think even the Sporting KC players who were headed towards the box,
nobody expected that ball.
I'm not even sure they expected it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think they expected it. So he's waiting. He's waiting for a redirection.
Yeah.
Nobody
in the stadium even like half of the people in the stadium was like, "Would that go in?
Did that go in?" Like, yeah, it went in.
Was that for real? Or did that go off the back and then like bang in the back of the?
Or was it like a ghost goal or something? Ghost goal. I think I'm gonna defend.
How's that in the net?
I'm gonna defend Willis on this. I didn't expect that ball just to go in. It's one of those that didn't have even a ton of pace on it.
Yeah, it did look fast.
It looked like it was droopy and it was meant for a head to go on it. And a head didn't go on it. And it just lopped it right in that kind of like side. I think he didn't see it coming. He didn't expect there to be I don't think there was any redirection on that ball.
Okay.
I think so it's not the question of he was not expecting a redirection.
It's like a batter getting baffled by a changeup? Is that what the
maybe it is? Like, oh shit, he changed it up. I mean, it just went off.
Where's that ball?
The trajectory was like perfect. It's going right in, but I don't think anyone expected it to just follow through. I think everyone, including like the Sporting Kansas City players, were expecting like some redirection to happen. And I think it just didn't come, and he was caught off because of that. And I could be wrong.
You know, look, part of this is trying to figure out where to be on the like, where is Willis in his career? Where are we on? Where should Gary be? Where should the decision making be on who the starting keeper is? Panico has made a good case for himself. Not a perfect case because again he's been flummoxed by spot kicks. He kind of got he was beat by a Louisville side for a kind of a not so great looking goal. And so again, some of this is on defenses, some of this is on setup, some of it's Joe's had some sloppy play. Joe's and then being flat-footed for that spot kick was one of these things. Just like, well, look, I want to say I'm a ride or die Joe guy, but I'm not. But clearly, by me asking this question, I'm not.
I might. Maybe I'm just being ride or die Joe. But like,
that's okay. That's good.
I think
endorse that
he's.
Too.
I think he's a good keeper. I think he's more of a traditional keeper where he makes those saves. But I gotta say, the only case I think that could be made against him for this kind of situation where the ball's got no redirection is maybe why wasn't he trying to get hands on it sooner? But I think the angle was just too far out enough to where I don't know what the right word is to where he couldn't have got hands on it without like running into people.
That's possible too.
And so I don't know.
So the last thing here, which is that look, I think that there are two things that go hand in hand.
Okay.
The defense plays better, the goalkeeper plays better. Those are two things that are in some ways sort of organically connected. Okay. The goalkeeper looks better whenever the defense doesn't let easy shots go by. The defense plays better whenever they know that they can rely on a goalkeeper that can get their hands on things. And so I think that in these sorts of cases, one of these things we need some breakthrough on one of these sides. Okay. Now I think that with Zimmerman coming back, we'll get some leadership. We'll get Zimmerman's athleticism. We'll just maybe his intimidation factor.
We'll win more balls in the air.
Get more balls in the air.
Yeah,
and so maybe even our set pieces will get better. But this was another case where we had a set piece and we weren't ready.
Was there a set piece?
Yeah.
Were we ready?
I don't feel like we were.
Was it a set piece?
It was a set piece, and were we ready?
Were we ready? No. Was it a set piece? Therefore, we weren't ready.
Man.
Have we mentioned that yet? That this is another set piece problem?
Set piece, yeah. Another set piece problem.
From open play, it's like typically, like especially last season, it was hard to score on.
Hard to score on us from open play, but man, yeah, set pieces were a problem.
Set pieces were exactly
continue to be a problem, and we're letting in more goals. So the last point is just that, like, look, there was a short period of time in the first half of the season so far where we're like, look, we're doing great. We're sitting mid-table, but we've played a ton of road games.
And now we've got the home games lined up.
We've got all these, but we've had a lot of home games, and we've only barely improved our winning our pointage. Yeah, we've only slightly better than our road run.
One point in 2 weeks against the two worst, by points, worst teams in the Western half of things. And so. In this regard, this is like, again, there are a lot of missed opportunities here, but this is a case where it's like, look, if we continue to play this way, we're going to sit mid-table, and there's going to come a point in time in like the last week of September, the first week of October, where we're sitting on a knife's edge as to whether or not we make the playoffs, and we're not going to host. And like we'll just be lucky to make the playoffs at this stage. We won't get to host.
Playoffs. And so I'm this is very worrying because this is a long season. Yeah. And, a lot of other teams are collecting injuries and still soldiering through. We don't have a lot of bad injuries on our team. I mean, we've got the Bunbury. We had Zimmerman sit out a week with a foot.
But we have out, I think.
Bawan's out for right, and we had to have Leal sit out. So we've had injuries. But not injuries where it's like we're like that's the season for this player.
Yep.
Or that this is going to be months and months and months for that's going to be months and months and months for a starting 11 player. We're not yet at that point, and so my concern is that we just lost to a team that lost two of their DPs.
Yep. Absolutely, and just had Boosie traded off a couple of seasons ago, or
into last season. So we've kind of got this.
Season, so.
We've got to there has to be a change, and we've got 2 road games coming up. We've got the DC game, and then we've got the Orlando Cup game. And there's taking care of business on the road, and that needs to happen. But the MLS is a league where winning at home is the thing that has to be expected. We need to be collecting points.
Absolutely. I'm worried, but I am optimistic given that Ake Loba scored. And as I mentioned to you, as he scored, or just after, I don't give a fuck if we lose. Ake Loba scored.
So that's the other part. There is, I tell you, that loss, there's a lot of dark clouds over that loss.
Tons. I mean...
But you saw a little... It's on a big sliver of light.
I may be changed. I wouldn't even say his name for a bit. I was so ashamed
you're just calling
of how
by
much
his
we were
number.
playing him,
Yeah.
how much we were paying him and not playing him.
Nice.
But you know what? I might be changed.
You coming around on number 9?
Ake Loba's gonna make me a believer.
You coming around on number 9?
I may be. If I see him hustle at that ball one more time, I'm a believer. He hustled. We saw Ake Loba hustle.
We might, man. So here's the question: do you think he's starting at DC?
Probably not.
Gary, come on, man! Don't disappoint Drew here.
Probably not. Probably not. But I'm hopeful.
All right, so we'll watch 20 minutes of him loafing around then.
Well, I'm also
a little worried about that one. That's
okay,
where
maybe I'm worried about that one.
He's gonna show up for 20 minutes of jogging.
Of loafing. That's like Mesut Ozil style. Maybe he's gonna be our Mesut Ozil.
That would be okay.
In his golden moment, he just bangs 2 in, and it's just a game.
88 minutes of him looking like he don't give a shit, and then 2 minutes of
he's like, oh, I'm playing soccer.
That's right.
Like the Eureka moment.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
All right, we good?
Well, we're not good actually. That's the
we
problem.
Lost.
Yeah.
Are we finished?
I'm finished.
I'm done.
I think
too.
I'm actually not bad. Ake Loba goal.
Ake Loba goal. All right, NSC Fan TV. See you next time.